Girl, crochet me please. Hey, it's your girl Jay and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, thanks so much for sliding through me, for returning. Welcome back, girl. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, girl, is that your hair? Listen, it might as well be. You can't tell me this is not growing out of my scalp. Let me just say this right here. You cannot get this results with a sew-in, and no one can ever make me believe that you can. The like how much movement that you have. I can feel my scalp. I can shake it. I can twist it. I could do all that, girl, and it bounces back. You cannot. So if you want to see how I achieve this look, make sure that you do stay tuned. Let's go ahead and get into a couple things. So before we go any further, I do want to say thanks to EayonHair for sponsoring today's video. Girl, they sent me over a bunch of their 20-inch water curly hair in the color natural black, which matched my hair perfectly. And if you know me, then you know I don't have a curl pattern. I do not have a curl pattern. Tell me how I was able to blend a braid out just as good with hair. This is the perfect texture for the girlies that have like a 3B, maybe like a 4A or something. I don't know, but I'll update what I meant right here because I think I'm on track, but I'm not sure. But this hair is perfect for you, especially if you want that big curly hair but you just ain't got the texture for it like me. This is the perfect one for you. So just for reference, this is what the hair actually looks like. It comes just like this in a bundle, and each of the pieces looks like this. And so what I'm loving about this is, you know, it's gonna be big because just look how thick the pieces are that are actually conjoined together. It's already thick, so you already know like it's gonna give you like a really full look. So thanks again to EayonHair for sponsoring today's video. So on my channel, I've been talking a lot about the crochet hair. I've showed you guys how to do it. I've showed you different textures, but I gotta say, this is perfect for the season. This is just perfect for the season. Big, full hair, pretty when it's wet, pretty. And I'm sure that you can straighten this as well, and I'm sure it'll be just as beautiful. But the big hair, it's just the perfect hair for when it's hot, and it's hot everywhere now. So I'm loving it. I'm yapping on. Let's go ahead and get into it because I know why you're here. So before we go any further, I do want to go ahead and specify the things that you're going to need for today's style. So for today's style, they sent me over like 5 bundles, but I think like 4 or 5 bundles, but I did end up only using 3.5. Now I could have done it into a half. I used 3.5 because I did want it to be super full. Like I want it max full, max. So I did end up using like 3.5 bundles today. And then you are going to, of course, need a crochet hook. I did use a blow dryer because, like I said, I don't have a curl pattern, so I had to kind of like blow it out. And yeah, some patience. I used a 3A mirror and you know, whatever. So anything that I did forget, I'm gonna have it listed down below for you. But yeah, that's pretty much all you're gonna need for today's style. Let's go ahead and get into the braid down so you can see how I achieve this flip over type ordeal. All right, so we are freshly washed and blown out, and so now we're gonna get into the braid down and everything. We're doing a flip over because I want it to be super large. I'm thinking maybe 3, if not 3.5 bundles of hair we're gonna use today. Moment of silence for the hair because the hair is just so stunning, girl. Like, so for a flip over, that just basically means like all of this in the front is going to be out. Well, not all of it, but a good deal. I don't want that much, but I do want to be able to at least push back here and then have curls. You see what I'm saying? I was going to do like a little different style, but I think that we'll do this for today. And so here I'm just braiding up the leave out. This is everything that's going to be left out. You want to make sure that you leave enough so that you can do like your edges and kind of lift it up on the sides a little bit as well. So this is exactly what we're going to leave out. Okay, so the braid down is done. This is basically what you've done. We done one braid across the top, and then I just connected it over here, and then we did all of these straight back. Now I'm going to end this off with like a little rubber band, just so it'll be easy for me to find when it's time for me to take this down. We're gonna start in the back per usual, and I just like to start at the nape of the neck. I go along against all of the braids that are attached to my head, and then I'm gonna start going up each row. And yeah, I guess I will come back once we get a good groove going. This normally takes me about an hour to complete because yeah, it just goes really quick. It takes like 5 seconds per strand. So it's pretty simple. So I'll be right back. So we have a complete full bundle in, and so this is what the fullness looks like so far. So you can only imagine what it's gonna look like with 3. It's about to be so full. Just look at the curls so far. You cannot tell me they're not so beautiful. This is like the perfect curl. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to like kind of like, you know, shape it a little bit. Just shape it just a little. Just look how much fuller it looks with 2 bundles. This is a full 2 bundles now. 3 is definitely gonna eat. So let me go ahead and show you how I actually put this in. So as I was saying before, you only want to attach the crochet hair to the braids that are actually on the scalp, not the pieces that we flip up and connect to the braid next to it, just because those aren't really sturdy. And so yes, as we're going in, we're just gonna slide our crochet hook right through the braid, and we're gonna put the piece of hair on the hook and then kind of split it into 2 and take one piece right back through the loop. I don't like to do a knot, not only because it's not necessary, but just because when it's time for takedown, if you want to keep this reusable, you don't want to have a bunch of knots on the thread and all that stuff. So by doing it this way, when you take the braids down, you don't have to do anything specific or new or different. You just take them down like normal. And this is the thread that I'm actually referring to. Just place it on the hook, slide it right through, and as you see, we're going to split it into 2, and then just take one side through, and then that's it. Also, a tip is to start at the bottom of your head, because if you start at the top, it's going to kind of fall down and it's going to be hard to tell where the next piece needs to be placed. And just use your finger to kind of like gauge where the next piece should go, and you should be good to go. And so now we're just going to go on the last braid, and we're going to go up to the middle of my head. And now the reason why I stopped towards the middle of my head is because you need to fill in the top edges like a need be basis. You don't want it to be too full, so where it looks like wiggy, but you also don't want it to have too many spaces either. So I go ahead and take care of the back first, and then I do the top all together and just fill in as a need be basis kind of. So as I was saying, at the top you do it as like on a need be basis. You don't want to pack it out too much because this is a flip over and a lot of your hair is actually going to cover it, especially that row right in the front there. It's going to cover a lot of the hair, so you don't have to make it too full, and then you just don't want it to look too super like wiggy and not realistic, if that makes sense. On a regular person's head with like curly hair, a lot of the thickness comes at the bottom and not so much at the root, so you want to kind of follow that same type of pattern, if that makes sense. And so the row that we're doing right here is going to cover a lot of that hair in the back anyway, so yeah, don't overcrowd it. Just make sure that this braid right here is really full. I think I put about no less than like 30 pieces on this braid right here, and it's going to cover everything in the back. So as we see, we got a couple spaces that we could definitely fill in, and I did go in and fill those after the fact, but it should look really cohesive, and the hair and the top that you left out is going to cover the rest of everything, and it lays really flat, super flat. Okay, so I'm back, and of course I did my makeup or whatever because I just like to see how it all comes together. And we took out the first side, and do you see how it blends? It looks like real hair. It's not like perfect, but it looks like real hair. So I'm gonna go ahead and take out the other side, do our edges, and we'll be back with the final look. And even though we didn't intend to do a middle part, we meant to do a flip over, do you see how I can kind of like manipulate it to do both a little bit? When I tell you, you cannot do this with a sew-in, you will not have this versatility versus this, you know what I mean? With a sew-in, you just will not. And you cannot tell me like this. Girl, crochet me please. It just looks so good. And so when I was putting the braid in, I did go in with a little bit of eco styling gel, just because y'all know I have no curl pattern. My hair is completely like, I won't say it's bone straight, but the curl pattern isn't consistent enough for me to try to blend it with any type of curl hair. Like I don't even need to try it. So I went in with eco styling gel when I did the braid. And when I say the braid has only been in for like I want to say it's been in for a little over an hour, and it was soaking wet. So I did go in with my blow dryer a little bit. you have a diffuser, then you don't have to hold it, but my diffuser is completely missing in action. That's the only thing missing from this. But trust me, when it's time for me to like actually style the hair and wet it and wash it and all, I will definitely have my diffuser standby, like nearby. So I'm just going to, so as you see, just by doing that, I was really able to manipulate this curl real good. But you don't want to like blow it straight. You see what I'm saying? You don't want to blow it straight. And just like that, let's give it a shake. Let's give it a shake. It's blending so good. Too good. First of all, let's do these edges and I'll be back with the final look. Okay, and so we are back with the final look. You cannot tell me this doesn't look like my hair. I absolutely think this came out stunning. I definitely cracked the code on getting it to match my natural hair. And as you see, I can flip it this way, flip it to the other side, and it's giving like my natural hair. Now I didn't shape it or anything like that, and people always ask, is the crochet hair reusable? It is, but when you start like shaping it and cutting it and all that, it makes it less and less reusable, because like you're not gonna keep it together when you take it out. You see what I'm saying? Like it's not gonna look the same. Like you can reuse it, but it's just not gonna look the same. Nonetheless, I think that the hair is absolutely stunning. I'm so excited to go take pictures and be cute and stuff in the city later on today. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Hope it was helpful and gave you the perfect inspo for this season. Make sure that you do go ahead and subscribe to your girl, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.